Welcome, everyone, to Housecoat Podcasting. I am Takeshi Yamato, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
The pain. The pain.
Yes, 117 Jorn isn't joining us this time because we are not looking into something he likes.
Frankly, none of us like it. We're only talking about it because it needs to be done.
Yes.
Whether we like it or not is utterly irrelevant.
Yes. We are looking at what some people would call Klingon ships today. The ships of STD. The ships of STD. And I don't call them Klingon. I call them orcs. The Klingons of STD are a race of orcs who found Klingon texts, managed to learn Klingon off of those, and deluded themselves into believing they were Klingon. And their ships show this as well.
I mean, just look at this thing.
Yeah. This thing is an organic monstrosity. And in case you're wondering, viewers, this is the Miracle Worker.
Hang on a second. We might as well get rid of some of these, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the first ship that we were looking at was one of the most infamous of those STD starships. The Miracle Worker Battlecruiser, also known as the Lucara, the flagship of Juula of Housecoat. I'm not slapping an IKS designation on any of these, because they are not Klingon. They are orcs. And their ships are not Klingon either. And this thing is the most infamous. Not just because it was Juula's flagship, but because of the weapon she installed in it. But we are not getting into that. The Shroom Tech rant would be an entire video on its own.
And will most likely be me and Take alone. But
again,
we have to discuss a certain... We have to bring this up.
Ah, yes, the traditional D7. The traditional Burrell. Yes, Klingons have a design language.
It's a very distinct design language.
Yeah, very distinct, sharp, angular, and militaristic.
And you can clearly tell that it's made by welding.
Yes.
There's a little bit of Aztecing in everything.
Yeah.
I mean, with this thing, it's a little harder to figure out, but mostly because they probably used slab construction for the outer hull.
Yes. STD ships?
Once I find my place again.
There we go.
This thing is organic. It looks more like something constructed by the Flood or the Necromorphs of Dead Space instead of a proper Klingon starship. Now,
yeah.
I know some of you are going to point out, it's got the configuration, look at the neck. No.
No. This is an unholy trident tip.
Yeah, that little theme continues on with ships like this, the so-called Bortus Bleer class.
Also known as that's not the one that I was thinking of there. But yeah, that definitely has the trident theme. And then there's the yes, this is what I call the cloud car, because
I'm the one who came up with that term, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Ron came up with that term, but it is accurate. Because, seriously, just slap a couple of cockpits on it and paint it orange, and it would be a cloud car. And let's not forget the bird of prey.
I'm actually looking for other STD Klingon designs, otherwise this is going to be a very short podcast.
Fair enough. But yeah, the bird of prey.
The so-called Machala class.
Yeah. Also known as a dick with bat wings.
You can guess who came up with that name.
Yup. Ron again.
And, well, you can see it. You cannot unsee it.
Yeah. Seriously. This made it tall. This little refit that the Klingon event introduced, the Klingon recruitment event introduced, made it tolerable.
At least it looks more like the Burrell. And if you swap on the D7 texture, it looks like it belongs in TOS.
Yes. But not the original. None of the original designs of any of the 4 ships we featured today look Klingon. They look... If they don't look organic, they look sleek and streamlined. And the Klingons don't do that. They do angular. They do blocky. They do, I am going to bloody kill you!
This one is a minor exception, but look at when it was made.
Yes, this is a 25th century design.
And even if we go back a little further, still blocky, still angular.
Still chock full of I am going to murder you.
And even if you go back further with the Camarag, which is basically just a D7 with longer stuff, and I really want to know why that keeps happening.
I don't know.
It just has a longer neck and longer pylons.
Yeah. But, yes.
As for this thing, the sarcophagus dreadnought carrier, I'm using the STO designation because, seriously?
Yeah.
It looks a lot like this.
Yeah. There's one other Klingon design out there, but it's not a playable one yet, as far as I know.
Oh, it's playable. I just don't have it. And if someone wants to gift me the D7 Miracle Worker Battlecruiser, please do so. Because
I'll mention, I'm not talking about the...
oh, right.
I'm talking the Charg. The Charg class battleship. Also known as the ultimate throwback to the ancient days of sail. The Charg was a ram ship.
Oh, that's playable. It's just a lockbox ship.
Oh.
Oh, I've completely forgot about this one.
Oh, yes.
Bullet Train.
Yeah.
Bullet Train mixed in with a spinner. Now, I wouldn't mind this as a more modern Klingon design. Just clean it up a little, make it look less orc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, this thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to address this. We're really gonna have to address this.
What?
STD dared to call this thing the D7.
Before they released their true D7.
Yes.
Yeah, that is not a D7.
This is a D7. A refit D7, but a D7.
Ah,
After all, Katinga is just a D7. Same size,
yes.
same everything. This
Yes.
has nothing in common with that design.
No. In fact, again, it looks organic. We do not like this. We do not like it. We do not like what STD did to the Klingons. As far as we are concerned, they are a race of orcs that delude themselves into thinking they are Klingon.
I'd like to view STD more as a guideline than actual hard canon at this point. The events happened, there was a war, the Discovery was involved, but it's not exact.
Yes, it didn't happen exactly the way it is shown on the screen. And maybe the 31st century arc is the same bloody thing.
Like I said, STD is a guideline.
Yeah.
The boats are salvageable, just give them a minor bit of TMP work.
At least the Fed designs.
Like I said.
Yeah.
And the far future stuff, perfectly fine.
Yeah, the far future.
After all, I've seen the evolution of of starship design. They fit. They fit gloriously. Yep. They're perfectly fine.
Yep. But not the orc ships, though. They are not Klingon, and the only way they would fit is if they were a completely different race.
I mean, just look at this. This is an Enterprise-era ship. In fact, we discussed this last time.
Yes. This is the Von Tok Bird of Prey. This naturally develops into the Burrell.
So, I would like any of the STD apologists to naturally go, how the hell do you turn this into this?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm willing to accept any sort of explanations. You give me something that's rational, sensible, logical, and I will accept it.
Yes. But if your argument is just STD canon, then there is no hope for you.
This is a perfectly acceptable TMP design. It fits. Hell, just flip it upside down and it's the ship you see in the original cut. But not this. This does not work.
No, it doesn't. And
the only ship from STD that belongs to the Klingons that is perfectly acceptable is the D7.
The proper D7, not that organic abomination that was originally called a D7.
In fact, hold on a second. This is actually a good opportunity to actually show the boat. After all, I might not have it, but it is a major playable NPC vessel in the form of the IKS Katinga by Chancelloress Vampire.
Yeah.
But discounting Madame Vampire, we're going to take a look at the boat. And we're going to see how bad it is.
They're holding.
And there it is.
Let's maneuver in a little bit closer. Okay. Obviously, the size discrepancy is...
Yeah, it's as big as a Vorcha.
And Vorchas have been known to be much...
larger than a regular Katinga. Or D7.
The nacelles do not match. The head section looks more like a modified Katinga with, ironically, hints of the Kamaj.
Yeah.
That said, it is a perfectly acceptable retro design.
Yeah. If some Klingon engineers, full of nostalgia, decided to make a new ship the size of the D7 and made it look like that in the 25th century, I would accept it.
I would embrace it. Because, well, retro seems to be a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, nostalgia is a big factor in everything we do. But...
yeah. As someone said in a fanfic once, nostalgia is a hell of a thing.
But as a 23rd century design, it's just too big. And way too advanced. This thing looks more like the Katinga than it does the D7.
Yeah.
The nacelles... just look at them.
Yeah.
That is 25th century technology.
Not 23rd. Nowhere near 23rd.
See, if you're gonna do something like this, you gotta make it fit.
And you gotta do it right.
You gotta make it fit the time frame. You have to go look at the time frame and go, can we do this and not make it anachronistic?
Kurtzman and his lackeys did not.
That said, we may as well discuss the other sins, because you brought them up.
Yeah.
Alright, where the hell is it? IKS something or other. I know it's the bird of prey, and I know I've got it. Screw it. Grab that.
Oh, Kelvin timeline had a D7.
Exactly. That's why I'm pulling them up.
Okay.
Okay. Right, I already have one. Oops. And I have one of those. It's just very hard to find because I have a lot of things. Anyway.
Yes, that is the Kelvin timeline.
D4 Bird of Prey. Now, I'm going to fully admit the D4 we see in the movie is much smaller.
But
fairness where it's due, it's smaller.
Yeah.
But it's... just look at the damn thing.
Yeah, this doesn't look Klingon either.
It looks more like a... I don't know, something out of Dead Space. I could easily see something like this being used as a cargo lifter from the USG Ishimura or something.
Yeah. And the open ribbing on the underside and back.
Yeah, very Dead Space.
Also almost reminds me a little bit of the Galactica. though the shape is
Oh,
completely wrong.
let us hope Jorn never sees this. Because...
I mean, yes, you gotta admit.
I will give you your... I will say that you're not wrong, but he will end you for it.
Yes, I know.
But yeah. Time to move on to the last ship, and it's the one ship that I would actually consider less sinful. Because I can see this as another throwback design.
Yeah. This is the Kelvin D7. And like the proper STD D7, it looks mostly like a proper D7 or Katinga.
And those two ships I could actually see operating alongside one another.
Yeah.
Along with, Negvars and such, but not in the 23rd century.
Yeah. Throwback design. Late 24th, early 25th century at best.
I mean, just look at the damn thing. In fact, you and I could come up with a design for this thing, name and history for this thing right now.
We could.
Well, nutshell, the D7 was finally on its last legs. It's on its way to retirement. But people just like the ship too much.
Yes. And so a handful of engineers came together and said, how do we make the D7 Katinga design still viable in the modern age?
Easy answer, yeah, upscale it by, I don't know, make it 50 meters longer, appropriately wide and such.
Yeah.
Modern EPS and warp core systems, modern weapons. In this case, a point defense system.
Yep. And the result is what we see here.
If anyone has a Klingon name they want to attach to this thing, go right ahead. As for the other one, we'll just call that one the Katinga 2.
Makes sense. Excelsior 2. If Starfleet can have an Excelsior 2, why can't the KDF have a Katinga 2?
Of course, it would probably be Katinga 2 in Klingon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really don't know Klingon numerology.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. We can speak certain phrases of Klingon decently well, but we don't know the language.
Yeah. So, Katinga 2.0 for the STD version. This one, I'm not entirely sure. The Kronos 1 variant of the Vorcha would be named the Kinpak after Kimpak.
Yeah.
Would this thing be named after a chancellor?
Possibly.
The Azad-Bur?
That could work. I mean, we already have the Gorkin.
Why not name it after his daughter?
Yeah. So this is the Azad-Bur class. And speaking of the Gorkin, we will get to that next time.
Yes. And Jorn will be able to return. Because
next time we look into Cryptic's designs again, and we see once again just how well they have inherited the ship design spirit of the original shipbuilders for the original shows.
Bye-bye.